There is a very short list of cars in automotive history that have genuinely changed the way the world thinks about performance. Cars that didn't just raise the bar. Cars that completely redefined what the bar even meant. Cars that took something previously reserved for the wealthy, the privileged, and the professionally trained, and handed it to absolutely everyone. The Volkswagen GTI is on that list. And the Volkswagen GTI might just be the most important car on it. Because the Volkswagen GTI didn't just build a fast car. The Volkswagen GTI invented an entirely new category of car, the hot hatchback, and then spent nearly 5 decades being better at that category than virtually every competitor that has ever tried to take the Volkswagen GTI's crown. The Volkswagen GTI is the benchmark. The Volkswagen GTI is the reference point. When manufacturers build a rival, the Volkswagen GTI is the car they are measured against. So how did a humble family hatchback from Wolfsburg become the people's sports car? How did the Volkswagen GTI earn that title? And why, after all these years, does the Volkswagen GTI still hold it? Let's get into it. It starts in 1976, and it starts, remarkably, as a car that almost never happened. The original Volkswagen GTI was not a boardroom decision. The original Volkswagen GTI was not the result of a carefully planned product strategy or a focus group recommendation. The Volkswagen GTI was a skunkworks project, a passion project built by a small group of Volkswagen engineers and designers who simply wanted to see if they could turn the ordinary Volkswagen Golf into something extraordinary. Management was skeptical. The timing seemed wrong. Volkswagen had just launched the Golf as a practical, sensible, everyday family car, and the idea of turning it into a performance machine didn't sit comfortably with every executive in the building. But the engineers pushed, and what they built was revolutionary. The original Volkswagen GTI took the Golf's practical body and dropped in a fuel-injected 1.6-litre engine, producing 110 horsepower. In 1976, that was a genuinely significant number for a car of the Volkswagen GTI's size and price. But the engine was only part of the story. The Volkswagen GTI came with a lowered, stiffened suspension, wider tracks, and a driving character that felt fundamentally different from anything in the Volkswagen GTI's price range. Sharp, alert, alive. The Volkswagen GTI communicated with the driver in a way that family cars simply did not. And critically, the Volkswagen GTI looked the part without screaming about it. Subtle red trim around the grille, a discreet GTI badge, plaid interior fabric that somehow, inexplicably, became one of the most iconic interior choices in automotive history. The Volkswagen GTI was restrained. The Volkswagen GTI was tasteful. The Volkswagen GTI said performance to those who knew, and said nothing at all to those who didn't. That balance of capability and subtlety became the Volkswagen GTI's DNA. And that DNA has survived every single generation of the Volkswagen GTI from 1976 to today. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button right now. We dig this deep into automotive legends every single week, and you do not want to miss what's coming next. Now let's talk about why the Volkswagen GTI earned the title of the people's sports car. Because that title is not just about price. That title is about philosophy. The Volkswagen GTI was designed from the very beginning to be fast enough to be genuinely exciting and practical enough to be genuinely usable. The Volkswagen GTI had back seats. The Volkswagen GTI had a boot. The Volkswagen GTI could carry a family to the supermarket on Saturday morning and then deliver a grin-inducing, completely involving drive home on a good road on Saturday afternoon. The Volkswagen GTI didn't ask its driver to choose between performance and real life. The Volkswagen GTI said you can have both. That philosophy sounds simple. It is extraordinarily difficult to execute well. Because making a car fast is relatively straightforward. Making a car fast and comfortable is harder. Making a car fast, comfortable, practical, refined, and genuinely fun to drive every single day at a price that a teacher, a nurse, a young professional, or a small business owner can actually afford. That is the challenge the Volkswagen GTI has accepted and met, generation after generation, for nearly 50 years. And meeting that challenge is exactly why the Volkswagen GTI has built one of the most passionate, most dedicated, most multi-generational owner communities in the entire automotive world. Volkswagen GTI owners are not casual owners. Volkswagen GTI owners are enthusiasts. Volkswagen GTI owners go to Worthersee, the annual GTI gathering in Austria that draws tens of thousands of Volkswagen GTI devotees from across the world every year. Volkswagen GTI owners modify their Volkswagen GTIs, track their Volkswagen GTIs, and then drive their Volkswagen GTIs to work on Monday morning. That is the people's sports car, a machine that lives inside real life and still makes real life more exciting. Let's talk about what the Volkswagen GTI actually feels like to drive, because the feeling is everything. The Volkswagen GTI steering is precise in a way that belies the Volkswagen GTI's price point. The Volkswagen GTI chassis is balanced, communicative, and genuinely rewarding to push. The Volkswagen GTI's engine, in the current Mark 8 generation, a 2.0-litre turbocharged four-cylinder producing 242 horsepower, delivers its power in a way that feels immediately accessible, endlessly usable, and consistently satisfying. The Volkswagen GTI is not trying to intimidate the driver. The Volkswagen GTI is inviting the driver to participate. This is a crucial distinction. Many performance cars put their performance behind a wall of complexity, of nervousness, of sheer power that demands respect before it delivers reward. The Volkswagen GTI hands the performance directly to the driver, without conditions. Drive a Volkswagen GTI on a twisting road and the Volkswagen GTI will reward you immediately, without drama, without demanding that you be a professional driver to extract something meaningful from the Volkswagen GTI's chassis. That accessibility, that democratic generosity with its performance, is the defining characteristic of the Volkswagen GTI, and it is the single most important reason the Volkswagen GTI has remained the benchmark of the hot hatchback segment for half a century. And then there is the legacy, because the Volkswagen GTI's legacy is staggering in its scope. Every hot hatchback that exists today, every single one, exists because the Volkswagen GTI proved the concept was viable, desirable, and commercially successful in 1976. The Ford Fiesta ST, the Honda Civic Type R, the Renault Megane RS, the Hyundai i30N. Every single one of these cars stands on the foundation that the Volkswagen GTI laid nearly 50 years ago. Without the Volkswagen GTI, the hot hatchback segment, one of the most beloved, most passionately followed categories in the entire automotive world, simply does not exist. The Volkswagen GTI didn't just create a car, the Volkswagen GTI created a genre. And creating a genre, and then remaining the definitive expression of that genre across 5 decades of intense competition, is something almost no car in history has managed to do. So why is the Volkswagen GTI the people's sports car? Because the Volkswagen GTI has never forgotten who it was built for. The Volkswagen GTI was built for the person who loves driving but has a life outside of driving. Built for the person who wants performance but cannot sacrifice practicality. Built for the person who wants something special but cannot spend supercar money to get it. The Volkswagen GTI proved in 1976 that performance did not have to be exclusive, that excitement did not have to be expensive, that the best drive of your week could happen in the same car you use for the school run, the weekly shop, and the morning commute. Nearly 50 years later, the Volkswagen GTI is still proving it, every single day. Subscribe and tell us in the comments, what generation GTI was your favorite and why?